James Hacker. What do Scientologists believe about animals? I know that animals play a part in Scientology's dynamics, but I'm unsure how they factor into the belief system. Do they have thetans? And if so, is it believed they reincarnate? Can they spiritually evolve and become human? Okay. No, they don't spiritually evolve and become human. Let's get that out of the way right away. But Scientologists definitely have things about thetans occupying their pets. Hubbard had talked about, Hubbard really only talked about this in a couple places, just sort of passing commentary, really. He never really did any deep dive on animals versus humans. He said, you know that famous picture everybody laughs at of Hubbard with the E-meter and the tomato, and he's got the electrodes plugged into it? Hubbard claimed that that was being done in order to determine whether the nature of life itself, the thing that creates life in a tomato, is that different from the kind of thing that creates life in us. And his answer was no, it's not. It's not the same. It's not different. So theta, as this life force, is sort of this, it's an intangible quantity. It's not something that, it's only something you can sort of conceptualize because it doesn't exist as a physical universe reality. It's not an energy field. It's different. It's different from matter, energy, space, and time in that the only real concept you can get of it is that it exists and it can impact or change or modify or even create things in the physical universe, but it is not itself of or in the physical universe. It only has an awareness of being within the physical universe. And that's a little bit of a head turner, thought twister, but I reconciled myself to it long ago, and I don't think it's that hard of a concept to get. So, one conceives in Christianity and many religions of gods as being separate from, but within and aware of and able to manifest and modify and change and destroy the physical universe. But nobody would think God, if the physical universe, collapsed, nobody would think that God's dead. God's outside of it all. Well, in the same way, so is theta. Not just thetans as entities, individual entities, which Hubbard never explained anywhere that I ever saw, and maybe somewhere he did, but I never saw it, what the difference is between like this body of theta or theta imbuing life into animals, ants to whales to dolphins to dogs to cats, versus thetans, which are individual entities, which I guess are theta bodies, which run us, which are us. So this is a little unclear, right? And you can see it kind of gets a little tangled up kind of quickly. You start going, well, what about this? And, ironically, I just never saw anybody ever ask Hubbard about this. So people just kind of make up their own stuff. So I've talked to plenty of Scientologists over the years who were positive that their cat had a thetan there, or their dog. Because you see, of course, with dogs and cats, they have specifically been bred over the centuries. Dogs and cats have genetically been modified to empathize with us and us with them. This is why we naturally see emotion in their eyes and in their faces and things, right? We assign all kinds of things to dogs and cats that may or may not actually be there. Right, because their brains are only capable of certain thoughts and certain expressions and certain emotions. I'm not going to sit here and say dogs and cats don't have emotions. I'm not making that argument. I'm just saying that their range is significantly limited compared to us. So, so Scientologists will assign the theta quantity to that, rather than think about thinking anything about their neurons or their brains or anything. Scientologists don't care about any of that. So anyway, so I saw a lot of that in Scientology, but it's that's about as far as they really think about it. They don't really have to put too much more thought into it than that.